Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me today while I lay some Indian Sandstone Paving Slabs.
This is going to take ages.
I know. It looks really good.
It does look great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, a bit of context before we get started. Unfortunately, shortly after my friends paid a small fortune to have their garden landscaped, a pipe burst in the street causing a leak of fluid out onto their garden, where the water, or whatever it was, sat on the surface of some of the paving stones. It left a white chalky residue. We aren't sure if this was from the water substance itself or because the resin grout they opted for hadn't quite set before it got submerged. Regardless, they've tried all ways to remove it, and I'm talking chemically, lasers, sanding, etc., and nothing has worked. The white keeps coming back and they're absolutely sick of it, bless them. So I'm here today to lift the ruined slabs up, replace them with new, and then they can finally enjoy the garden that they paid for. So first task is to lift all of the ruined chalky slabs up. For this, I just opted for a hammer and chisel, hoping it wouldn't disturb the surrounding slabs that weren't stained and were intended to remain in situ. Some slabs were definitely easier to lift up than others, depending on how bedded into the mortar they were.
Jesus. I think they are just, that's solid like.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's exciting, isn't it?
And there was definitely a bit of a knack to it, which my friends Nick and Becky soon learnt.
That chisel doesn't work unless you can get to it.
What do you mean?
Becky's having a nightmare.
I can't get.
Becky's picked up 1 to my 7.
I just would.
What? How does it work?
Because I'm either shit or
Nah.
shit.
You'd be better off, yeah, with the metal hammer.
Yeah.
Metal hammer. This one's coming up in it. So the best way to do it is underneath like that, yeah?
Yeah, just try and get like a leverage. Big whacks are better than little taps.
Right, I need to
But wear gloves.
wear gloves.
Yeah.
So you know them all done by the time I start. Right, come on. We got this. You're not wrong about this chisel. I want to try yours to make sure that I'm not just being shit. Yeah, I'm just shitting this by the looks of it.
I think that's what I am.
Oh yeah. Is that shit? Oh no, she just is. Well, you know what you're good at, don't you?
I actually know that it's just not me.
Oh, Emma's just good with shit.
I'm just shit. Here, you do it.
No, you. No.
It's so bad at DIY.
I'm warm already. She's a beast.
But I was grateful of their help throughout.
Right, so he's left.
We worked together to get all the ruined slabs lifted and then rewarded ourselves with a quick brew to celebrate. Me and Becky then sorted the lifted slabs into piles based on what was completely ruined by the stain and definitely for the skip versus what could potentially be saved and reused.
It's already looking so much better.
Becky, that one's going to come to there.
Yeah.
Then you've got that edge on. I don't know whether there will be enough to try and avoid this. We could put that in like the desperate pile if you wanted.
We might as well try this because
Yeah.
if you can, and then come back to these when it's forced maybe.
That was an odd one, wasn't it?
Yeah. That one looks alright.
For example, some of the slabs were only stained on the outer edges or on one half of the slab. And because laying Indian sandstone is a bit of a random pattern consisting of various slab sizes anyway, we thought that cutting some of the larger ones down into smaller squares or oblong shapes, then they'd save money by not having to buy as many new slabs. The plan was to save what we could, lay out the pattern loosely on top of the old mortar, and then we can work out what gaps needed filling with new slabs so that they'd only have to buy what was absolutely necessary from the builder's yard.
We didn't need another full square, did we?
No, because we marked those up before we went and bought
Yeah.
the additional ones, so
So we could use that as probably 2 oblongs, couldn't we?
yeah.
Quite the jigsaw, but saving money and less waste is always a bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so what is my method to get accurately cut slabs with a perfectly straight edge? Well, I start by laying some bricks on the ground so that the slab being cut is raised, stopping the blade on the angle grinder contacting with the ground. I then place the slab on the bricks and ensure it's a nice solid surface and the slab isn't rocking. Using a tape measure and a pencil, I mark the slab to the desired size. Remember, measure twice, cut once. I then use a scrap piece of straight timber as my guide to cut along. This ensures the blade of the angle grinder isn't going to run off from the pencil line, giving me a perfectly straight cut each time. I place the timber along the edge of my pencil line and secure it in place with clamps. Ensure your clamp handles are at the opposite side of the timber to where you'll be cutting, otherwise they'll come into contact with the blade. Before you start cutting, have a little feel under the slab to also ensure the bricks are not directly underneath your pencil line, otherwise they'll come into contact with the blade too. A little wiggle to reposition might be required. Then it's time to start cutting. PPE wise, I'd recommend gloves, goggles, a mask and ear defenders as a minimum. Start the angle grinder up before making first contact with the slab so that the blade is already spinning. Approach the slab carefully, place the back of the blade against your timber guide, which will offer resistance and keep you in a straight line. Move the blade repeatedly left to right across the slab. Little pressure is required, just let that diamond blade do all the work and you'll feel it cutting evenly across the full length. As you come to breaking through the slab, you might feel some slight pressure build in the blade as it wants to drive fully through the surface. Again, let the blade do the work. Just keep your balance and keep your hands firmly on the grinder handles whilst this happens. As the scrap part of the slab falls away, move the blade away carefully so that you don't accidentally chip your new perfectly cut line. Power down the grinder, noting that the blade will take a few moments to stop spinning, so place it down with the blade facing upwards to avoid any unwanted chips or scratches in the ground surface. You can then remove your clamps and your timber guide and discard of the unwanted piece of slab. For this particular slab, I needed to make 2 cuts, so I repeated the process. Measure, clamp the timber along the pencil line, ensure there'll be no resistance from the brick stilts, cut evenly and consistently side to side, place the grinder down safely, remove the timber guide and discard of the unwanted piece of slab. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. With everything cut, our large-scale jigsaw was then complete, and this was Nick and Becky's first look at what a patio would look like without the white staining. To avoid mixing up the pieces and losing track of which slab goes where, we numbered the slabs with some chalk and rested them in piles near where they'd be laid. Before removing the old solid mortar bed, I thought it would be a good idea to cut around the edge to avoid any disturbance to the surrounding paving slabs from the vibrations. I just carefully used the angle grinder in order to do this. So I thought using an air chisel and put with Becky in the background there with a hammer and chisel would be enough power to break up the old mortar bed so that we could remove it, but it was just absolutely solid and it wasn't anywhere near enough power to even scratch the surface barely.
This is going to take ages.
I know. I think we're going to need a rubble bag.
Yeah.
How deep does it have to be?
I think your slabs are 2 centimetres at the thickest.
Yeah.
And we could do like 30 mil of
Yeah.
bedding, so 5 centimetres down.
Right, okay. Bloody hell.
I mean, we have took a bit off.
Yeah.
After a fair amount of effort with those tools, I gave up on the air chisel and opted for a hammer drill to see if drilling at the surface would be better. It wasn't. But it was better than a hammer and chisel, so I gave this to Becky whilst I tried again, this time with the angle grinder. I cut a grid pattern into the mortar bed to see if it would offer enough wiggle room for the air chisel to then work as it should. It did, but then I soon realised that actually the sort of mortar-shaped bricks I was creating by cutting a grid with the blade just lifted up and out, and this turned out to be much quicker and neater to pile up, ready to go into the skip, than creating a load of dusty rubble with the chisel.
Nearly halfway there, you know.
Yeah.
So we worked as a team, cutting and piling, stopping only for all-important doggy cuddles.
Will you? Hey, you. Oh, who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Are you come to help? Are you come to help? Are you going to help? Are you going to help Auntie Emma? Are you? Oh, that's a nice scratch. A nice scratch. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And before we knew it, the old mortar bed was finally removed.
Willow, 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 Willow. Come on in.
The next step was to mix up some fresh mortar and make a start laying the new and the old recycled sandstone slabs. Each slab got a full bed of mortar, no dot and dab here, and each slab was primed with water before bedding it down with a rubber mallet. Because of the sheer amount of dust now on the slabs, Becky just wanted to come over and check that the order in which I was laying them in offered a varied but random colour mix amongst the Indian sandstone.
Trying to see whether they've got different colours next to each other. Yeah, so they are. I think. No, we didn't really look, but it's not necessarily a problem. Like, like the big flags. These are all different colours actually. I'm just trying to make sure we don't have too many like grey ones in a patch.
Oh, right, so you mean.
Yeah, but they all look like fairly different colours. It's hard to see when they're so dusty.
I know.
I was given the green light to go ahead, so just mixed, lay, repeat, on, and already, look, it's just looking so much better. Of course, stopping for mandatory willow love was absolutely essential.
Hey, who's gorgeous? Who's gorgeous? Who's gorgeous girl? Hey? Hey? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Becky became a cracking mortar mixer while I lay, and she kept on top of the colours of the slabs to ensure it would be nice and random when complete.
I think 15. 15? Yeah.
I did as I was told. And of course gave every single slab about 3 million spirit level checks as I went. As I got nearer the brick edge, it did become clear that due to the grout gaps, I was going to have to cut a couple of the slabs, but this will always happen if you try and pre-cut all your slabs before you lay them, as it's never going to quite work out to how you laid them loosely. I lay as many as I could until we ran out of materials for the mortar mix, so I headed to B&Q for a late evening supply run, ready for a fresh day tomorrow. My full wet bed of mortar mix consisted of a ratio of 4 to 5 parts sharp sand to 1 part cement. The sun made a lovely appearance, meaning the hoodie was off, and I just kept checking the consistency of my mix to make sure that it wasn't too dry and crumbly versus being too wet. And away I went, repeating the same process as I had done yesterday. Near the outer brick border, there was moments where I had to cut slabs ad hoc along the way, but before I knew it, I was ready to lay the last slab.
You want to lay the last one? Are you not bothered?
I don't care at this point.
Touche, Becky, touche.
Now the different thing with this one is that there's no way for the mortar to go.
Oh, yeah.
So it has to be put on. The zigzags do help, but
What do we think, guys? Will the bed be spot on? more there.
Is it?
Yeah. Never mind, I'll quickly lift it out, add some more mortar into that corner, and let's hope for second time lucky.
Way. Victory.
Before it sets, do you want any taken off that side so it's a bigger gap? Or you're not bothered?
I'm really not bothered.
It's all a bit random anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really not bothered.
Completed it, mate. Ready for the grout. They opted for a lovely charcoal black colour, which does differ from the rest of the patio.
Hello. Hello. What? What? Hello. Hello. Who's a good girl? Oh, that's nice. That's so nice. Mm. Good girl.
Obviously, a few quick cuddles and kisses with me best pal was required beforehand.
Are you helping? Are you helping? Are you helping? Oh, really? Are you helping?
Who's getting affection?
Helping?
Oh, it's really dark.
Oh, it's quite cool, is that?
It's like glittery.
Yeah.
Come on, Willow.
Are you happy with that before we do the full?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine, honestly. It looks nice.
That's going to look so nice. You're going to want it all black.
Oh, we're gonna have to do it. Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. I love that.
That looks mega, that.
That looks ace.
If only you knew about this before the resin.
I know.
It looks well better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, this looks banging.
We're gonna have to do it all, aren't we?
No.
Do you want to be the compactor?
Compactor.
Yeah. So the essential part is compacting it down. So the great part about this self-setting paving joint and compound is that you can just apply it with a broom or a soft brush and then compact it into the joints. You just wet your paving slabs beforehand.
It works better if I just do nothing.
Fast and easy. There's no mixing needed.
The black does look great though.
It does.
And it can even be applied in all weather, so even in the rain. Doesn't shrink or crack, and it's highly water permeable, meaning that it won't pool on the patio, which is possibly where the initial white staining occurred due to maybe the resin pooling on the patio when there was the water leak.
It looks really
It
good.
does look great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and before we knew it, we were done. Look at that. Let me just insert a quick before with all them horrible white stains. And now back to the after. No stains in sight. And Becky and Nick have finally got the patio that they paid for originally. Couldn't be happier to help. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. With love always, Dalton.